Why Meet the Others podcast? What's this about?
Why are we doing this thing?
Why are we doing this dang thing?
Who the F?
Do we even know what we're doing?
Certainly not.
Oh,
We
no.
just hooked this thing up tonight. We figured out how to use the mics, and now we're recording 10 seconds afterwards. Gives
Word
me
up.
comfort. So
I hear you.
yeah. So anyways, Meet the Others. That's us.
Still waiting on this car to come and take me home. Things feel a little different now that we grown. Till I turn the ass, sure they put my name in stone. Live how I wanna live, cause we die alone.
Hey.
Yo!
What's poppin', everybody?
What's up, guys? Welcome to Meet the Others podcast. I'm Anissa B.
And I am Choirboy Dank.
And if this is your first time watching, this is a podcast of entrepreneurs, artists, parents, lovers, creators. You name it, we do it. This is Otherworld, baby.
Hell yeah, doing it and doing it well.
Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Oh my goodness, I like that song.
I knew that would hit a little bit of nostalgia button in your brain.
Yeah, I did. Well, welcome, guys. What's up? If you haven't noticed, we've been gone for a while. It's been a while.
We missed y'all. We missed y'all.
Yes.
You know, we missed doing this. We've been, putting in work regardless.
Yeah.
If you can tell, we've destroyed the studio.
Well, I didn't have nothing to do with it, actually. My husband over here, he had a great idea. We were watching some podcasters and they just had some cool backgrounds. And we were like, dang it, we need to like revamp our studio. And
Well, we did, we do these, we put it on the story with this just you, just me. And we're kind of like stepping it up and wanted to have like maybe a background for each one of those.
he did, not me.
And I think that we was going to do another camera setup, and do the whole thing. And I felt like, you're going to see this wall that looks all
White. And that's
terrible and like scratched up and like kind of messed up. And then we put this thing on it.
And he worked hard on it, guys.
Did a lot of work on it. And we was like, yo, that looks pretty tight. That looks good. Coming in it, looking at the studio, it was like,
right.
Wow, that looks fire. Then we recorded a little test podcast and it looked horrible. It looked so dark and like, I don't know, it almost looked like
it just didn't fit our aesthetic. Like it wasn't something that we could vibe with. I felt like, honestly speaking, I felt like I was like a gamer. Like I was like, you ready to play? Like it was, who's going to watch me play?
It definitely had the Twitch streamer gamer vibes, which there's nothing wrong with that. It just didn't necessarily feel like us or whatever, however you want to say it. So
he immediately,
well, yeah, we recorded that and then I freaked out and ripped half of it off and was like, I don't know. And then we was like, well, what are we going to do? We have no idea.
Yeah.
So we just decided to say, you know what? We're going to come on. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see what people say about it. And
it looks like a mess.
It looks crazy, but we're still getting we're still just going to get these episodes in. And we figured we'd talk about, the changes of the studio and how we can, how we're on ever evolving evolution.
Yes, 100%. But before that, what's in the cup?
What's in the cup?
Yes.
Well, I have my cool little Meet the Others coffee cup here.
Yes.
With coffee. Included with some super strong Bustelo.
And I did have my Meet the Others podcast cup, but this thing is so strong. Like I'm telling you, like my tongue is stained for life with coffee now. Because I don't know how many scoops were in that brewery. I was gonna say, is it a brewery? That brewer.
In the brewer.
In the brewer.
In the carafe.
In the coffee maker. Anyways, so I put it in here and I've just like pretty much doused it in milk. Is doused the right word? I don't want to be corrected. I don't care, but
I think so. I
Okay.
think you could use it in that context, in that space there.
Yeah, well, anyways, I overdid it with milk. There's a lot of crema in here, pretty much, because now it's like this coffee is very strong.
It is strong, but it's good. It's almost like
Yes.
what do you call those things?
An espresso?
Yeah, it's kind of like an espresso
For sure.
or an
For sure.
Americano.
So how do you drink your coffee?
I drink my coffee black usually. Nothing in it.
Nice.
It's good that way.
Do you put sugar?
I used to do all the sugar and the creams and stuff like that, but
Cinnamon?
I got tired of it. Yeah, with the cinnamon.
You know, that's like part of my, like, in my culture, you put cinnamon in your coffee every morning. It's like a protecting, like, spice for your day. You know that, right? Protects your energy, protects like what you got going on.
You've said that before.
Like as I'm putting it in, right?
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes it's easier just to go black and get her done.
True. Okay.
Did you put cinnamon in this one?
I did not. Today I'm not going to be protected.
You're out there. No protection. Ew, watch out, everybody.
Yikes. Katie Kaboom over here. And I also have my water, of course, my huge jug. Bam.
Where'd you get that thing?
Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack, huh?
Yeah, I actually just my brother gifted me for my daughter's birthday. How sweet. He gifted me a book bag, a gym book bag, and I freaking love it. It has so many pockets in it. It's amazing. So
you decided to grab this while you was in the shopping mode?
Yeah, that happens to me sometimes. Let's not talk about it.
I need a gallon water jug that's bulletproof.
Exactly.
Carry it with me everywhere.
Shit is heavy.
No, I know. Sometimes I get in the car thinking that I have a place to sit, but no, the jug is there.
The jug is on the second seat in my office.
He's sitting. The jug is already called shotgun.
For real. Yeah. So
what's up?
What's up? So we're talking about the changes in our studio and what do you have to say?
Well, what do I have to say about it? What I have to say is it was a lot of work. We did a very permanent setup. We felt very well. I felt like I had the support from my wife to feel like, this is going to be the way. And it started looking really good.
Right.
And, the thing for me that really turned me off about it is it just was so dark, and it felt like it was almost more of a focal piece than what we're saying and what we're doing on the podcast. And I see a lot of podcasters out there and it looks professional and they have it going, and I saw it and was like, oh yeah, we got the lights to make that look good. But sometimes I think it's valuable to go through the change, say we're committing to this thing.
Yes.
And then realizing that it doesn't fit me.
Yeah, because I feel like as entrepreneurs, you have to be willing to make change and like kind of decide change pretty quickly. Like, you know what, today I feel like I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you took some responsibility for that. I think that's something that you have a hard time doing, is committing to something when we're like, let's do it. You don't fully commit to it.
Well, no,
always.
I don't commit to things a lot of times because I like to keep my options open, which I've, as I'm learning, I feel like sometimes I think that that's a hindrance in moving forward, right?
For sure.
And I think that it's valuable to just make the mistake.
Right.
And say, I did that. I spent the money on these stupid panels and now I'm taking them all down. Yeah.
And we're kind of stuck at the moment. And that's why it looks the way it looks. And that's why we're here to present it the way it is to show you guys that like you have to keep moving forward to create this empire. Like nothing should stop you or get in your way, even if aesthetically right now it might look crazy.
It's definitely not perfect, and it's definitely not like what I would consider optimal.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I thought that it made a lot of sense to come on here and talk about, hey, This isn't optimal, but it's not going to stop the podcast.
No.
It's not going to stop us from sharing our, weekly, daily journey in this thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lesson in itself, honestly.
For sure. And for a moment, it kind of did. Just because we had to move the table. We had our children and we were juggling our children. We were juggling responsibilities. We were juggling, our son having oral surgery and that being kind of like a little bit of like, we need to give him 100% our undivided attention because, he's a little guy and we wanted to make him feel loved. And
yeah, and he was going through it with that stuff.
Yeah, there was like no way. Like every time we were like, dang it, do you think we have like a moment to record? We're like, probably not. Like he's going to start crying at some point because he's in a lot of pain. So we paused. We had to take a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, and it took a little bit of time. I mean, we had to move. We had to disconnect the sign, disconnect all the equipment, then put the stuff up. And then, eventually take it down. But I mean, just to putting it up and kind of really setting it the way that it looked good, or however you want to say it, took some time. It's like, It's one of those things. It's, you want to, we have a lot of hats that we wear as, creators and entrepreneurs and just people that are creatives just of, no one's going to come in here and apply all of this stuff for us,
No.
So like we dig deep into the DIY aspect of stuff. So, sometimes when you're doing it yourself, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is that when you're an entrepreneur and you're just beginning and your resources are your own hands, your own bare hands, and possibly another, like your partner is also a part of that with you. That's all you got. Those are your resources and you have to use them. And being a person, a human, you're not going to just create it and it's going to be done in one day.
No, it feels like it could be that way.
For sure. Because when he got these, he was like, okay, we're going to put them up. And I was like, yes. All right, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, so what do we need to do? And it was like, what, you glued one of them and then like we put it on.
Well, I think that there's some value in sharing.
Oh my God. So he puts it on. And now the other thing is that part of our studio, one half of the wall is concrete.
Yeah.
Then the other half of the wall, which I think that this is like kind of like a storm space, right? Like this is the part where like.
Yeah. Well, this is also concrete, but we actually built a wall here.
Yes. And
then, we drywalled it or whatever.
Yes.
So that's like a little drywall, normal standard type of wall or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I did the liquid nails on the back of the thing, put it up there thinking that it was just going to kind of, the panels aren't that heavy. So you would think they would just set it there.
Plop it on.
And, kind of bing, 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 bing.
We're going to be done in the whole day. It's going to be done.
We're going to get it done in one day.
It's going to be great.
It did not get done in one day.
No.
We put them up in the corner behind the sign and stuff.
It started sliding.
They started sliding down.
Mm-hmm.
I come back like, okay, I'm just going to let it dry. Give it like 10, 15, 20 minutes. I come back. One is like sliding down. The other one's on the ground.
Yes. And then we also so I went to school for makeup. So I remember this one clever thing that you do when you're applying eyelashes. You're supposed to put like glue on the strip of the eyelash and you got to let it kind of dry until it gets like a little tacky. So I kind of gave him like that suggestion, like, because at first we were just like smack. And it was like wet. And so we tried that and we were like, maybe this will help.
And it did.
Somewhat. It stuck better.
It helped, but we still had to get out. We have C stands and we got out the C stands and the mic stands and they was like propped up, holding them up.
And it took like 40 minutes per square. And there was how many squares were there? Like a whole lot that you did like.
I don't even know. I'm sure that there's like 38 squares or something like that. So it took a decent amount of time. Then we looked at it. And
65. There's 65 squares on the wall. as we speak. So, well, no, not as we speak, but there's only 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, but there was 65 of them. And so just imagine like one square per about 40 minutes, then applying glue took another 10, 15 minutes because it was a thick amount of glue.
So it took about a week and a half, 2 weeks just to get it installed. And then we did the podcast. And then the next day I ripped them all down.
I felt like it was the same day. Like we were like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I walked out because I said to myself, I was like, I can't deal with this stress. It's too much drama in that room. Like I'm not, because he's like, so what do I do? Do I keep him on or not? And I was like, honey, honestly speaking, number one, our studio looks tiny now. Like it felt like we were like being sucked in by this like black wall,
like this black hole.
Yes. I was like, poor guys over here.
Yeah. So the show must go on.
Yes. And we kind of wanted to just kind of come on here and tell you guys what we've been up to, and also just share that it's okay to like try and change certain things that, in your environment. And even if you decide to change something and it doesn't work out, keep moving forward.
Change some more stuff.
Change some more stuff, right?
Yeah. Go back to what works or figure it out. You just got to keep going. The only thing that's constant is change. So we'll be continuing to change it up.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And we're going to find out what we like about it. We're just evolving, so it's one of those things that we're coming on another whole chapter of this thing. So it's cool.
Yes.
It's cool to go to. So the cool thing about it is you'll be able to say, well, I was a listener of the podcast back before they ever had.
When they had ratchet walls.
When they had remember when they had the glue all over the side of the walls? Yeah. So
yes.
Cool.
And don't be embarrassed when you change and things don't seem to work out the way that you envision them, because sometimes we imagine so much, right? Like our minds are just like so big. We can think of all these cool ideas. Sometimes the ending product is not exactly what you expected it to be. And that doesn't mean that you're failing at all. It actually means that you're growing because you took the opportunity to change something within your environment. So that's like kind of cool, So don't be like ashamed or shy to change certain things, especially as an entrepreneur and a podcaster and someone who's redecorating like we are. And so like, here we are. We don't know what to do now.
No.
We need some help, guys.
Yeah. If you got some suggestions, but kind of to the same point is to say that you're making a change and it doesn't work out the way that you envision. And, as like creatives and people that are doing new things and stepping out and even just doing anything new, the first try is not always going to be a home run. And I think that, you got to try again, and then you'll get better. The next one's gonna get better, so that's, just a little level of encouragement. We just gonna keep refining this thing. And I think that if you rock with us soon, it's just gonna be the best podcast video streaming situation you've ever seen. That's what we're going for, at least. So
yeah. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, I've thought about shiplap.
Yeah.
I've thought about so many other things. We've thought about wallpaper. We thought about paint. We thought about just having the imperfections of the wall for a moment, looking at it, facing it, trying to figure it out. So if you guys have any suggestions, comment down below. We are willing to take any advice. You guys are watching this, and I would love to hear anybody's perspective. No negative comments, please, because come on, the world is so negative sometimes. Let's be at peace.
Yeah, keep it light, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep it light,
trying to keep it light,
because when it was so dark, it was too much.
I was having an anxiety attack.
Yeah, it was too much. We want to, want to be that light, that brightness in the day or whatever.
Yes. So anyways, guys, we hope that you enjoyed our podcast, and we just suggest and continue to encourage people to try change when it comes to their, being an entrepreneur and creating, and don't be afraid to step out a little.
Do something different,
and even like I said, even if you make a mistake, it's okay. Right?
Yep. You're making progress, baby.
Yes. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have yet to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Meet the Others Podcast, we're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Choirboy Dank is on Instagram. Anissa B Strong. We're on Instagram, Facebook, you name it. We're there. If you see these faces, it's Meet the Others Podcast.
Yes, 100%. If you are just a podcast listener, go on YouTube and subscribe. You can see the studio that we're talking about.
It's crazy, guys. It's ratchet. Sorry, guys. It's all his fault.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of here.
Till next time. Peace.
Why Meet the Others Podcast? What's this about?
Why are we doing this thing?
Why are we doing this dang thing?
Who the F?
Do we even know what we're doing?
Certainly not.
Oh,
we
no.
just hooked this thing up tonight. We figured out how to use the mics, and now we're recording 10 seconds afterwards.
Word up. So, I hear you.
Yeah. So anyways, Meet the Others. That's us.
Still waiting on this car to come and take me home. Things feel a little different now that we grown. Till I turn the ass, so they put my name in stone. Live how I wanna live, 'cause we die alone.